Good morning from Sweden. I hope you are well. Welcome to today's reading where we are looking at the current energies and how to best navigate them. So if you are benefiting from this, please like and subscribe. I would love to see you coming back. So first, like always, let's start by grounding ourselves and centering ourselves and bringing ourselves into this present moment, releasing all stagnant energies, thoughts, and air as well from our lungs. So we start by breathing out fully, emptying our lungs completely. Get rid of all stagnant oxygen and carbon dioxide, and then breathe in through the nose, filling the lungs with fresh chi, fresh air, and blow out through a pinhole through your lips. One more breath in through the nose, breathing in fresh chi, fresh air. Breathe into the stomach, feeling the stomach, the midsection, and the whole chest area expanding as you breathe in, and then breathe out through a pinhole through your lips. Releasing old thoughts, old patterns, old energies, bringing you into the present. And then one last breath, breathing in through the nose, fresh chi, fresh air. The present moment, and then breathe out through the pinhole through your lips, releasing. Calming the central nervous system, bringing us into the present moment. So the question today, as always, is how does this hexagram want to move me today? What are the energies around us, and how can we best navigate them? Heaven, earth, fire, water. Move that side. Thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. Heaven. So we're going out strong with heaven. There's coin. And heaven is the ultimate yang. So we don't need to do anything down there because we have 3 solid lines in heaven. So the outer Gua. How does this hexagram want to move us today? What are the energies around us, and how do we best navigate them? Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. Heaven, so that's lake and lake. Let's write here. So Kikian, Dui. Oh, not pronouncing that very well. I ask for forgiveness to anyone who speaks any kind of Chinese language or dialect. So Dui looks like this. So this one we had yesterday, and that was the what it was changing into. And let's have a look at that later on. So now keep these and then take 2 coins away. We're going to find out about the changing line. What is changing, and where are we in the position of this diagram, in the process of this diagram? Where are we right now, and what is changing? What are we moving into? If we follow the guidance, that's what it is. So first 9, second 9, third 9, fourth 9, fourth 9. So let's see, that's the one, fourth 9. So that one is changing into a Jin. So we're moving into Li. Just draw, hang on, sorry, not Li. This is Kan, more water. Lake is water, right? Kan. Over Kian. So we got the inner energies are action. The outer energies are water, so it's about nourishment and action. So take action. We need nourishment as well to restore our energy, so we can take action. And then we're going to look at what is coming, and what's hidden. The approach gua or the hidden gua, and then we do that by taking 2, second, third, and fourth line becomes 1, first, second, and third line, and then third, fourth, and fifth line becomes fourth, fifth, and sixth line, and they're all young. So it's initiating, and it's the third time initiating comes. It's Kian. Kian is coming. So yesterday it was also what was hidden. The day before that it was what was coming. So actually it's just looking at it right now, it's like we are starting to take action, but we need to keep making sure that we nourish ourselves and replenish ourselves and look after ourselves, because we are preparing now to go into a very, 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 very creative part, new part of a cycle. Okay, so Kian here, which is number 1, is the first hexagram in the I Ching, and it's called initiating. So we've had over the weeks now had a lot of cutting away, leaving behind, and then we've seen some, and then nourish ourselves. But now we're seeing, because cutting away and leaving something that we know behind, although it might be bad for us, it is really hard work and it really draining, because it takes us out of it, and we have to change the way we are, like our subconscious, removing old patterns, and this can be really scary. And for some of us, maybe even removing ourselves from physical situations that are not very good for us, right? Like, yeah. So, and that takes it out of us. But we're seeing yesterday we had metal again, which is a very cutting, leaving behind kind of energy. But it was still very much, it was great exceeding. Dui Enkian, which is, again, it's eliminating. Okay, that was the what was changing yesterday, was changing into this, and we are here because we followed the advice of yesterday's hexagram, which was great great exceeding. And in great exceeding, we take extraordinary action. Okay, so we take steps that can be a bit scary, but we actually do this, right? We take the steps despite the fact that we might not feel very comfortable doing it. We might be very fearful, but we know that we have to take this step. So we did that yesterday, and the energies that was leading into was eliminating. So we're back into eliminating, releasing the old as well. That's 43. But I think that's a sign that we actually followed the advice of the hexagram yesterday. and I'm quite sure eliminating is actually a metal. Let's just double check that. We're still in metal energy. Metal. It's metal, yeah. And then we got water over heaven. And yesterday we had lake, actually today as well. Sorry, we do have lake over heaven. So it's very watery, and we had that yesterday, eliminating. But now we've got water over heaven, which is 5. Kan, kyan. Again, 5. So and I think that is childhood. Let's just double check. And this is, no, actually, it might be needing. Yes, it is needing. And this one has turned up a few times. So, the energies keeps on circling back to the same thing. So it shows that we're still in the same process, although there are clear signs that we're moving forward. We're no longer stuck in the past, in our old patterns, although some of it keeps on coming back in a little bit, but we are definitely moving forward. But we are still in the eliminating energy. We're still things that we need to remove in order to move forward in a good way, and what I was talking about here was because of the water here speaks about nourishment, right? Without water we cannot live. We have to have water. We die within a few days, I think, without water. Maybe you can live up to 7 days. I don't know how long, but it's not very long, right? Air we can live without for a couple of minutes. Some people train themselves and they can hold their breath for a long time. But we die quite soon without being able to breathe. And then water takes a few days to up to maybe 7 days. And then food we can live without for longer, but eventually that's also something we need. So we need a lot of things just to survive. So there's air to breathe. There's the air that we breathe in becomes energy. It's being transmuted into energy in our body. And then the water that we drink is refreshing and replenishing our body and helping the energies to flow freely. And the food that we eat is transmuted into energy. And the movement we do when we practice Qigong, we practice yoga or any kind of stretching movement, I think anything that wrings your body out is helping to open the energy flows and allowing the energies to flow freely. And when the energies are flowing freely, we are without pain, or we have less pain, and we become less sick because the body can actually heal itself in a way when it's functioning properly. So this is with Qigong, with the medicinal Qigong that I practice, is we release and open the energy channels so the energy can flow freely throughout the body. And when the energy in the blood and all this can work properly as it should be, then the body is fine-tuned and we can handle diseases and illnesses much better, and cold and different stressful situations as well, because the body is able to heal itself, right? Yeah. So nourishing and replenishing. So right now we just need to, and this is what needing is speaking about. It's after we need to need food and water and goodness to eat to replenish the body. But that is the energy, so that's what we're moving into at the moment. So that's what we need to think about now. It's time to restore ourselves. We took the steps that we needed to take, but those steps were quite draining. Yesterday, it took a lot out of us because it was really extraordinary action we had to take. So now it's time to pat ourselves on the back and say, well done. Now it's time to rest. Although not going into some sort of sleep in any way, we still got work to do, but we need to nourish ourselves, of course. So let's have a look at eliminating again. Yes, so eliminating is speaking about a great river that has a lot of debris in it, so it sort of overflows. So with eliminating, and this is the same, you can look at that at our lives as well. We've got things in our life that are just clogging up the flows. It might be physical things. We might have you might be a hoarder. You've got far too many things, and they stop you from moving forward, and it makes your life more difficult. But maybe you've got an attachment to having things in your life. A lot of people have this because it's a sense of security to have these things, but many times they just keep you stuck. And this is the same for patterns in our life. We're trained as young children, we're between the age of 0 to 7. We are almost like a recorder. We are picking up what's going on around us, and we're being taught how to respond in situations. So although our parents were very loving, if we were that fortunate, I was, that I have two good parents. But actually I heard a very lovely poem. It's a poet on Instagram, and I can't remember his handle. I'll try to find it and then actually write it in the comments. But he wrote a poem about his parents and how difficult it was to grow old growing up, because he then had to watch his parents grow old. And he's speaking about they weren't perfect, and that we were growing up together because they were learning as well. Like as a parent, when you have a child, you never had a child before, so this is something new. And even if you get support, but you're actually learning as this child is growing up. So we are making lots of mistakes as well with this child. So most of us come out of childhood with being taught things that might not be good because we had to protect ourselves in a way, or maybe our parents were arguing a lot, or I don't know, like things that happen. So this has taught us, and this lives in our subconscious, and it becomes our subconscious programming, and we continue responding in the same way throughout our life unless we start catching it. And usually it becomes a build-up, because when we keep on responding in this way that is no longer beneficial to us, it has no benefit at all, and we keep on doing this because we are not conscious about it, then it sort of tends to spiral and becomes worse and worse throughout the years. And then it becomes like the river that full of debris that overflows eventually. So now is the time to continue clearing out all debris, all patterns, so we can let the river flow freely. And when the river flow, and those are the energies within us to flow freely, then we can move in to initiating that. It's just waiting for us here. This is what's coming up, right? So this is where we can go into full creative power to start to create this life that we really want to. And we are on our way for sure. We just have to continue. However, we must make sure that we are looking after ourselves. So, so this is about, this ideograph here is a hand. I think it's an arm with a hand. So it's holding some sort of tool. So the hand is holding something, exactly what we no longer want, to set it apart. So this is to set it apart. And this here is like something that is being cut through with the line here. And that's to set apart as well, as to eliminate, to cut away. Okay. When water, so we're looking now at the hexagram itself, and that's water, which is a lake above heaven. So when water on the ground has risen up to heaven and accumulated as a lake of cloud in the sky, surely there will be a cloudburst. So this gua signifies the rapture of an accumulation of tension in the human society. And this is so true, right? Everything that's going on in the States and all around the world, actually, this is exactly this. It's like accumulation of tension, right? It must burst eventually. Okay, but we need to then eliminate all these hateful powers, these dark powers that are actually looming over the world at the moment. It is time for the righteous to eliminate the inferior forces and the influences through an act of resolution. So any action that we take forward must first come from the correct place. It must come from the heart. We must have the correct intention. Because any action that we take that has the wrong intention comes from a place of anger or hatred or just for ourselves, complete selfishness. It always in the end turns into chaos. Nothing beautiful can come out of that. It just becomes chaos, and it'd be destruction, and it'd be death and torture and terrible things. But when we take actions that comes from a pure heart, where we want to benefit all beings, where we want to help, where we're coming to coming from a good place in our heart, and that's the intention. And then we make a resolution from here. We decide, hang on, now from here I'm going to create something for the world that they can benefit from, that is based in love. Okay, then that will be a beautiful, beautiful action. So intention is the first step to action, should always be, and it should be a pure intention. And then we must really make a resolution with ourselves. I am not going to waver here. I'm not going to back down. This is what my heart is telling me. This is the way forward. I'm doing this with everyone's benefit in mind, okay? And I am sticking to it. So this is, we must make a resolution. It's so easy to go, oh, you get one like knockback maybe, oh, that didn't work, and we go, oh, I'm no good at this, and I'm never going to be able to do this, and nobody wants me, or nobody's going to want this that I want to create, and all this, and we talk down on to ourselves, and then not believing in ourselves. No, I tell you, we should not do this. We're going to make this a resolution, and then that we're going to continue creating what we want to create, okay? And there is to best eliminate negative forces is to create positive forces, because then the positive forces can spread throughout the world, and then eliminating the negative. And this hexagram actually speaks about that. So we've got all the creative forces here coming and eliminating this, which is considered the evil force in this case, right? So it's becoming stronger and stronger. So we need to eliminate that. And the best way to do that is to create something beautiful that we share with the world. So we share a message of love, okay? Because that could then eliminate the dark forces. Eliminating, declaring at the king's court, sincerely howling, there is adversity. Notify one's own city, unfavorable to use arms, favorable to have somewhere to go. And this is it, unfavorable to use arms. This is not a time for being angry, although you might have justified anger. Somebody might have done something really terrible to you or your family or to the world. All this is going on and you're very angry, but that is not going to benefit anyone to become what we are trying to stop, right? So violence only feeds more violence. So although it might be very difficult to stay centered and kind-hearted right now, this is where you need to be, because anger will only feed more anger. The only thing that can create love is love. The only thing that can create peace is peace. So we must cultivate our mind, which, speaking of this needing, okay, needing is more of a, I think more of a physical, like eat and drink to nourish your body, but it's also to cultivate your mind, nourish your mind. So, and when it comes to that, really be careful with what you are watching and what you are listening to, because this is what's teaching you. We don't realize just how we are being affected by the messages around us, and how we slowly start believing in them. And they can be very hateful, diversify or separating teachings that we are listening to, right? We're hateful and we're violent, we're being taught the wrong things, right? So right now we need to nourish the body with good food and good drink, but we also need to nourish our mind with wisdom, pure wisdom, kindness and love, okay? So we have this peaceful mind, so this is what we can share forward. So there is unfavorable to use arms, and do not become angry. Or if you're angry, don't suppress it, but sit down and feel into it. And then breathe into your stomach. And then release the anger. And then connect to your heart. And if you find it difficult to find like love, then think of a person you know that is always loving. And think about how they would respond to here. And if you don't have very many of those around you, think about like a person like Dalai Lama, Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela, who was in prison for like 30 years and he still came out, and he was still preaching love and peace, right? He wasn't broken by this. He cultivated his mind. And all these great teachers, the nun, Teresa in India, I was looking after all these children and the poor people, and Mother Teresa. And there's lots of great people that we can take inspiration from. So we connect to their energy and put it into our heart. And then from there, make movements forward in love, okay? Eliminating, it is a resolution to eliminate something. The firm eliminates the yielding. Strong and joyous, eliminate with harmony, declaring at King's Court, a yielding mounts on 5 firms. Sincerely howling, there is adversity. Exposing the danger is to make the elimination brilliant. Okay, so this is, strong and joyous. Tap into that heart energy. Tap into the energy of these great people who, despite what happens around them, they remain loving. Okay. So declaring at the King's Court. So sincerely howling. There is adversity. So it is difficult times right now. But looking and actually seeing the danger, be aware of the danger. The danger is the hatred, is the anger, is all these negative forces. That's the danger. Although these negative forces might be pointing at other people, like people are thinking, oh, all the immigrants are taking our jobs and blah, blah, blah. That's not, the immigrants are not the danger. The danger is the pointing fingers, because then we don't see who's pointing. Who's pointing? We don't see what the person who's pointing the finger, because that one is deflecting our attention to something else. So they go about doing things that are not very good, okay? So we need to look at what is really exposing the danger. What is the truth? What is really, not what it seems to be, but what is the truth? What is the seed of the evil, okay? And that is to make the elimination brilliant. So it's, actually the brilliant, which is a fire energy really, but to make it brilliant so you can see it clear, right? It's all this, like the sun is shining on it, okay? No, it is not those people over there that some people are pointing at. That is the problem. It is the people who are pointing. That is the problem. And just look at what they're doing. And the same goes with you, like your thoughts. Is it really what you're thinking? Is that really true? Do you know the seed of your thoughts? How did you learn those thoughts, that thought patterns? Look at that. Is it true what I'm thinking? Really examine yourself. Put the spotlight on your mind. What am I thinking? What am I sharing with the world? Am I sharing hatred and anger? Right? Is this justified? Where do these thoughts come from? How can I transmute them? You cannot transmute something into love and kindness and joy without actually seeing what needs to be transmuted. Okay. Notify one's own city, unfavorable to use arms, relying on arms, there is no way out. So this is no time for hate, this is time for love. Favorable to have somewhere to go, which means we need to go, take action and actually do this. After the firm grows, the elimination will be ended. So when we come, this one turns into yang, the top line. Here, the yielding line turns into a solid line, which then we turn into Gyan, heaven, okay? And that's the initiation. Then we're moving in to this cycle. We're already in the new cycle. There's some residue of the old cycle, but we're already there, but we haven't really initiated it. We're just at the gates of it, okay? But after the firm growth, the elimination will be ended. We would have gotten rid of that. And we're just at that stage. We just got some little more work to do in order to create a loving, beautiful life for ourselves and others. So commentary on the symbol. Water of the lake accumulates in heaven, an image of eliminating. In correspondence with this, the superior person bestows his wealth upon those below him and consider not his own merits. And with this, it means we need to share our wealth, whatever it is. It might not be monetary wealth, right? It might be a wealth of love. It might be a wealth of kindness. It might be a wealth of strength or whatever it is. Knowledge, a wealth of knowledge, right? We need to share it with others freely, right? And we are not... we're not doing this for ourselves. So what is coming up here, Campbell, are we going to create? That is not for ourselves in such, although it will benefit ourselves, but it's cultivating ourselves to make sure we create something, a gift for the world or for the people around us, maybe just 2 or 3 people. But if we spread kindness, then that will continue spreading. If we spread hatred, that will continue spreading. Okay, so the work we're doing is for ourselves and others, okay, for the benefit of all beings. So it's the 4th 9 that is changing, so let's have a look at that. 4th 9, on the buttocks, no skin. Going forward, difficult to proceed. Tie up a ram, regret vanishes, hearing the words, not believing. What was I talking about? Now, examine. First, choose what you are listening to. What words are you listening to? Are they hateful? Well, maybe you need to go and listen to other words, okay? And then hearing the words and not believing. Actually examine every word you hear. And also with words, it's the words in your head. Don't believe everything you hear. And that includes your own mind. Okay, because that's been trained. The subconscious. Going forward, difficult to proceed. The position is not appropriate. Hearing the words, not believing. He is unable to comprehend. Okay, so we're stuck in... we need to eliminate all patterns of... We really need to. Because we're not... At this point, not being able to see fully what is correct. So for now, there's not, just at this point, we're not really shouldn't be moving forward because we can't see clearly and we're not trusting. Okay, I'm just going to read them more. The 4th line is a yang element at the yin place. It has gone beyond the center and its position is not correct. 1 at this place is unstable and suspicious. The upper gua, Dui, represents a ram. The proper way to lead a ram is to tie a rope to it, but let it move on its own. If one forces the ram forward, it will resist. When eliminating evil, one should not be alone in taking the initial step. Wait until all the rams are ready to take part. Then one will have no cause for regret. Yeah. So at this point, we can't see clearly, and we don't even trust, really, because we've gone through so many things. So who can we trust, right? So we need to wait to gather the people around us that we can trust. Okay, very important. So metal energy, cut away, and then what we are. Let's have a look at the kneading as well, a little bit, just quickly. But I've been talking about that already. To nourish our body and mind with good food and drink, and then also to nourish our mind with wisdom words, not hatred, with love. Okay, we'll see if we can find something. Kneading, being sincere and faithful, brilliantly prosperous and smooth, being steadfast and upright, good fortune, favorable to cross great rivers. Okay, so kneading, so favorable to cross great rivers. In the olden days, it was very difficult to cross great rivers. It was considered very dangerous. It was dangerous, okay? So, but right now, actually, it is, if we are being steadfast and upright, remain truthfully us and moving forward as us, right? And as the true essence of us and remaining this way, right? Then it is favorable to cross great rivers. This is a good time to move forward and start making changes, okay? However, it needs to come from the heart. Intention, resolution, intention from the heart, love and kindness should be the intention. You could have other intentions as well, but it should come from love and kindness and compassion. And then intention, resolution, and then make a move, okay? And gather people around you who are like you, kind-hearted, loving, and wants to create something from that, okay? Needing, require faith and confidence to wait. So at the moment we are waiting still, although danger lies ahead. Being firm and strong, one does not allow oneself to be involved in danger. The conduct is right, one will not fall into straits. Needing, being sincere and faithful, there will be brilliant success. Be steadfast and upright, good fortune. Being in the place assigned by heaven, it is central and correct, favorable to cross great rivers. Going forward, your work will be accomplished. Love, loving kindness, compassion, intention, resolution, but gather, right? Be patient, because you need confidence and faith. And at the moment, we're in a place where we are a bit suspicious. We don't trust really 100% because of the things that we've gone through. So we need to clear that and gather people around us that we do trust. And then also start trusting in ourselves, that our intuition is very strong, right? What our heart tells us and our stomach tells us is the truth. And then we use our logical mind to create a plan forward and then to start taking steps forward. But we also need to nourish ourselves, the body and the spirit. Very important. So we've gone through a lot. Now it's time to be patient a bit, continue clearing out, cultivating ourselves whilst nourishing ourselves with love and kindness and good food to strengthen ourselves, getting ready to move into this creative mode, which is a very powerful time indeed. Okay, that's the reading for today. I hope it was of benefit to you, and I'm wishing you a beautiful day.